Hey there, this is the Art Teacher, and this is the Art Teacher Studio by Low Budget Presentation. Here is my studio. I have my easel, my TV, and everything I need right here to help you learn more about art. Okay, let's get started. Today we're going to learn about line. Line is one of the elements of art. Of course, my big question would be for you is, what is line? All of you just give me answers. What is line? Okay, you're not answering me. You're supposed to be answering me right now. What is line? Some of you are not answering still. Some of you are. The rest of you need to get on board. Okay, now you started to. Yes, good, thank you. Line is, I can hear you all. I can see, yeah, you too. I see them over there. Yeah. I can hear you. A little more. Okay. Settle down now. It's okay. Some of you came up with some really good ideas of what lines are. And no, lines are not what eats you in Africa. Those are called lions, not lions. Okay? So, good try on those marks over there. Anyway, what a line is now there's several definitions, several different ways. So I want you to kind of think about this. A line is a dot moving through space. That's one way of looking at it. If you can imagine, you just keep repeating itself and it kind of makes this mark here. Another definition is this. Are you ready? When you take an instrument, it could be a stick, it could be a pen, it could be your finger, and you drag it across a surface. It could be a piece of paper, it could be sand, it could be anything. And you leave a mark. So let me speed that up for you. You take an instrument and you drag it across the surface of something and leaves a mark. You're going to create lines. Now thinking about that, do you know that you could do a picture in the sand on the beach or someplace where you have sand, and you could actually draw a picture and then take a photograph of that to save it, because it's not going to last, right? And that could be a picture. And people have done that as well. They've done that on the beaches with wet sand, and they've drawn a little heart and says, I love you. They take your feet print on it, take a picture of it, and then save it forever on your computer. So that's some of the things. I would like you now, I'm going to get my cameraman here, Jonah, to zoom in over here to this poster. And I want him to zoom in over here where my hand is. These are some line examples. And using different things such as a marker, an oil pastel, a thin marker, a crayon, a color pencil, a piece of looks like black charcoal, and of course then just a pencil. And the different types of lines that you can make with this. And here on this poster I have from Crystal Productions, it says a line is a mark made by a pointed tool, such as a brush, pen, or stick. People use lines to write words, and artists draw lines with pencils or other tools. But lines can also be found in nature. Okay, now I'm going to have my camera here come up to this right here. This picture of a trees right there. Got it good? You can see all the lines. Some of them are very thick. Some of them are very thin. Some are smooth. Some are very jagged. Now we're going to go down a little bit lower, zoom out a little bit. You're going to see this painting here where they use a lot of different lines to represent the light shining through some blinds and shining on the floor and over here on this wall and this window. There's lots of lines painted here, and you notice that lines don't have to be black. They can be color inside a picture here. Now let's go over to this one over here. This is what you would call a contour line drawing of a plant. And again, not all the lines used in this picture are actually the same. So, and if you just come up a little bit to this fish picture here, You can see how there's a lot of color in this one. But you can see how they've used diagonal lines, which are slanted. A lot of diagonal lines. And curved lines. All sorts of things like that. Now, I'm going to have my cameraman back up so he can see the whole studio again. Here's something else about lines that every student should know, from first grade all the way to 5th grade. Kindergartens even know this one. A line that goes up and down is called what? 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 Some of you got it. Some of you got vertical. Right, vertical. A line that is laying down is called what? It's called... No, it's not called being lazy. No, no, that's wrong. Yeah, you. Yeah. The one that with the smirking face? Yeah. No, it's not laziness. What do you call a line that's laying down? No? That's right. Horizontal. That's horizontal. This is vertical. And if the line is slanted like this, we call that diagonal. Diagonal. That might be on a test someday. You never know. So let's go back. Vertical, diagonal, horizontal. Very important. So I want to show you some art pictures of some famous artists that show lines. Looking back at my TV here. Are we there? Yes?
Yes.
This is the first one. This is actually a picture, a drawing that Vincent van Gogh did, one of my favorite artists. And this was the yellow house where he actually lived. That's where he did some of his artwork here. Very famous house. One of the houses that he has lived in. It's called the Yellow House. Now I want my camera to zoom in really close, right around here. And you can see the different lines. This side of the house is shaded because of the lines. This side is not. Now watch this. I want my camera to go up so you can see the sky. You see how the sky is made up of horizontal, short, horizontal lines? And then if you go over here to where the tree is, you can see how these lines are coming down in a curved fashion, and kind of jagged, thick lines for the tree branches. Okay, go back to full screen. Here's another picture by Rembrandt, and he's done this. It's an etching. He didn't draw it with pen. There was a technique called etching, and there's a lot of lines in here. All this is nothing but lines. He didn't color in anything black. It's just that there are a lot of black lines that are overlapping each other. And this is called Landscape with the Tower. Another picture you see here is Paul Signac is of Van Gogh's house in Orels. That's one of Van Gogh's house that another artist did. Notice that there's color in it, so you don't have to keep just doing black and white. You can do color. Color is very good for your pictures. Here's one that Vincent van Gogh did called the Olive Trees. A lot of lines. Here's another one he did. Orels, view from the wheat field. I love this one. It said the wheat field with cypress, and it's near some place I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. But Vincent van Gogh did that. Very wonderful line. Look over here where some of the lines are so small you could say they're dots. And the lines are very lightly done to represent clouds. But when you come over here to the tree, they're more solid and thick and curvy to represent the cypress trees. And if you look to the whole field here, there's just so many different types of lines. There's another one he's done. Now one last one I think is this one here. It's a fisherman boat. And you can see how he's done waves and the sky. There's something I want to point out here, and that is there's no big empty white space. Everything is filled in. But it's just not randomly filled in. There's a purpose to it. So, okay, let's go back to a full screen.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a chart of your own, like something like this, and create your own catalog of different types of lines. Now this is just just a small sampling. Now, if you'll zoom back in so you can see me and my board over here. Whatever you happen to have, whether it's a marker or a crayon or chalk, no matter what you have, try to do some lines like this. If I use the edge of my marker, I can make really thin lines. If I turn my marker, I can make thicker lines. If I do it lightly, my lines are really broken up like this. But if I press a little harder and slower, then my lines get a little darker, thicker. And then you start asking yourself, well, what can I do with these lines? Depending on your medium, this is a marker, the medium of marker. You can use medium of crayon or the medium of chalk. And then you can try to do things like maybe make a leaf. And a stem on the leaf. See how all the lines are a little bit different? So whatever you happen to have, you can do that. Now, let me explain this to you. You can do that even with paper tubes. See these paper tubes? You can even save these. This is just one of many ideas. We're almost done. Now I just need to get my pair of scissors. Okay? Thank you very much. Watch this. If I fold it flat and then cut it once, now I'm going to try to cut them the same thickness. One more here. I have these. Whoops, now I'm going to have my cameraman zoom in a lot closer. If I put them all together and put them just like this, and then fan them out, some of you are thinking already, you're already saying, oh, what they could be looking like.
A lotus.
Peacock feathers, turkey feathers. And if I was to glue them down on a piece of paper, those are lines. And I can even do it this way. By taking this paper tube, I can create lines like this. And I can glue these down, and they can be lines. So here's your assignment. Are you ready? This is for your portfolio. This is your first assignment for your portfolio. A collection of artwork that you're going to be doing during this series. This is entitled Lines. And you should be doing more than just one paper. You should do 2, 3, or 4. However many you think you can do, and it's going to be different. So you need to find out what mediums do you have. Pencil, pens, crayons, chalk. You could do paints if you had them. You could even use sticks or paper towel rolls, scissors, glue. Whatever you happen to have, make a picture with lines. Different types of lines. And you know, it doesn't actually have to be a picture of something. Hey, let's go back to my TV screen real quick. I'm sorry I don't have the name for this one. It's not showing up and I can't remember what it is. But there's some famous artwork. Oh, there it is right there. Sorry, my mistake. August Day, painting by Franz Klein. This is a reproduction. And it was done in 1957. Let's go back. Look at that. That's a very famous picture. Done with very thick, painterly lines. And it's not a picture of anything. I mean, he called it an autumn day. I don't see much autumn there, but that's what he called it. So, autumn day, and it's just a bunch of lines. Okay. Now, if we can go back to the full screen, for the studio. Remember, that is your assignment, is do more than one. You should do 2, 3, or 4 pictures in different mediums, different styles. Your pictures should not be the same. They should all look different. Try to make some that look realistic, some that are not so realistic. Just be out there and make sure you save them in your portfolio. You can put the word line at the top and put the date that you're doing that in, because you'll want to know that date later on when you get older. So put the date and just put them in your portfolio so I can see them later on, hopefully. If you see something that you did really good, it's a really awesome picture, you can just send it to me through Etsy. All right, I think that's going to be it for me right now. I'll see you next time.